game on your list?
I had many, yeah.
Okay, so Colin, would you like to be recorded discussing games?
Come to the corner. Come to the corner.
Yeah, so come over there.
I'm moving the
And
microphone,
you
so
could
when I wonder why there's so much
introduce-
turbulence.
We also added women in tech and engineering and being a woman.
Lintai, welcome back to the studio.
It's a whole experience.
I'm a little afraid of when I miss some correct words because
Okay.
without note.
Okay, no, so the two of you, this is a discussion. It's not an interview. So which of you would like to begin?
I'll be the start man.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Creative Disturbance podcast. Right now with me on my side is Lintai. He comes from China. Where specifically in China?
I study and work in Hangzhou.
Hangzhou.
Yeah, and I'm born in Lanzhou.
Hangzhou. Oh, okay.
Lanzhou is not famous. That is a small city.
Little city, yeah. I haven't heard of Hangzhou. I heard of Hangzhou.
Yeah.
So that is a good place to start. And today we're discussing video games. Specifically, a topic that Lintai wanted to talk a bit about. You want to ask? Let me ask. What were you thinking about when it comes to generation video games?
I think the first topic of video games usually be what's your favorite video game?
My favorite video game of all time is Portal 2.
Portal 2.
2011's Portal 2 by Valve Software. What about you? What is your favorite game?
I think I have three different favorite games in three different perspectives.
Oh.
The first is Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, because I really like to play card games, and if you do some research in design in card games, you will finally find Magic the Gathering because it's really classic and has a very long history. Yeah, and that has a very excellent game rules.
Okay.
We can learn many from the Magic the Gathering. And the second perspective as my own favorite games and what games I've played for the longest time is Pokemon Emerald.
Pokemon Emerald?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to talk to Roger about that because he's actually working on a project with a few students who are looking to do a ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald.
ROM hack?
A ROM hack, which is additional modifications to the software that allow for, specifically in this project's case, newer Pokemon additions to be in Pokemon Emerald.
Yeah, I know that. And I also use ROM and some simulators.
No. Keep going, keep talking.
ROM and simulator in the computer, not in the specific device because I don't have it. And I played the Pokemon Emerald and many different hacks. And most of the hacks are very hardcore, and I will play it with hardcore rules of mine.
Okay.
Yeah, a hardcore hacks with a hardcore rules.
Ooh, I like that. Your third game.
Yeah, and I think the third game, my favorite is not a specific game. It was a game I like most at present. That always be blank or always changed. That is my third game. It's a grid or it's a chess.
Oh.
Yeah. And for now, the game I think the game is Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Incredible game. It's so handmade. I love Outer Wilds.
Yeah. And I do some researches in Outer Wilds this term. And one highlight characteristics in Outer Wilds is its reward system and
Yes.
how they tell stories to players and how can they make players driven by their own curiosity.
Yes. It's really interesting to see how you learn progressively through each mission. Now, Lintai, I'm going to end this conversation by talking about the use of games in education. Are games used in education in China?
Yes, but very rare.
Rarely.
Because most people in China, especially people are over 14 years old, have stereotypes of game. They most of them think game is very harmful.
Harmful?
Yeah. They think games are like drugs.
Time out. It's over. It's over. Well, thank
Okay.
you, Lintai, for
Okay, stop recording.
dropping by. We're going to go to our next person.
Okay, so we're gonna do this slightly differently. Which two of you have a related topic on your list? And this time, Evan's gonna shut up and just record you.
What? I thought you wanted it to be a discussion.
Well, no, two of you are gonna discuss.
How related is related?
Because
Because I feel like we could make a connection between any of them.
Yeah, well,
somewhere.
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so you happen to both be sitting next to each other, go over there and record them?
It's nonstop. It just keeps going. I don't gotta press nothing. It just keeps going.
I have a small question. I mentioned about drugs. Is that properly in the?
Okay, we can edit it.
No, and editing. Edit it. He's really into it. You can't stop a man like that. We let's keep going and keep going. It's
Okay,
on your mind.
So, okay, part of the skill is not to be too well prepared, so the conversation may go in the direction that you don't expect. So, click,
Run away.
you're being recorded.
You have to come close to the mic if you want.
Can
If
you
you
move
want.
the mic close to them?
Or, I can move it over.
We're good. We'll just swap around the chairs.
Yep.
It's musical chairs.
Yeah.
I'll just sit right
It's
here.
more fun. More fun.
I'll take this one. Okay. Okay.
Intruder.
Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and introduce myself. As we're about to have another conversation. I'm Sam, and I'm speaking with Rachel, and we're going to be talking about video games again, but specifically The Last of Us 2, right?
Yes.
And you had a few questions about the game itself.
So Last of Us 2 is a really interesting take on violence in video games that most games don't explore. It was mentioned in class a couple days ago, like last week, where she was talking about how in Uncharted, you're the good guy, but you spend a lot of time murdering hundreds of people and it's never acknowledged. In The Last of Us Part 2, they kind of flipped the script on that, where when you go through as one character and you kill all of these people, you later on walk through the same place as another character and you see the body bags of all of the people you have killed and how that is affecting the people that are still there.
Yeah, and I think that, like, I've also played this game, and I kind of get what you're talking about, but I think one thing that really hammers it in is that the your enemies have guard dogs in the game, and you can kill the guard dogs, and it's very much it's interesting because that's not something that I had ever seen in a video game before. And the first time that I even realized that this was possible was that I would see memes about it, where like people would be really sad after like killing the dogs in the game, and I was like, what is going on? So I had to play it, and I do think it's interesting that like they kind of like Naughty Dog took a lot of care to make sure that you feel bad, and I honestly. Like, I guess speaking as somebody who played it already, I almost thought that it was like a little too much because they were like layering it on, like you like the word like Ellie does some pretty like heinous things in the game, And at some point, I was like, I don't even want to play anymore because I feel so bad about it. Have you played a game that does like the opposite of that?
I mean, my first one that comes to mind is still Uncharted,
Okay.
where most of the characters you fight, there is no actual importance to any of them. They're completely ignored. You murder hundreds of people, and the only acknowledgement is you blowing up whatever priceless artifact you're running through.
And then you're still a hero, right?
And then, yeah, you're still the hero. You're always the hero because it's Nathan Drake, and he is the quintessential good guy in the
Yeah.
game, even though you are looting for the entire course of the gameplay.
Yeah, I
Like all
know.
4 of them.
Let's just like loot some ancient civilizations, like
Kill everyone that's also there.
Yeah. I think like another like kind of like branch off of that would be there's also like games where you're kind of told not to do that, even though you can, and there's some ramifications for it. Like Undertale is a
Yeah,
good
Undertale's a
example.
good one there.
You're technically not supposed to kill everybody, but if you do, at least there's some consequences for it. Unlike maybe like if you played like Just Cause, it's basically like Nathan Drake but discounted, and all he does is like literally he has a grappling hook and he grapples onto helicopters, and you can like blow up gas stations, and I think it's really weird that. Not weird, but we're kind of like moving away from the like, give me a gun, I'm gonna shoot people in this game, to like, oh, actually, like, things have consequences.
Yeah, we're moving a lot more towards the things like The Last of Us Part 2 builds on the similar message that you get in The Last of Us, where at the end of the game, when you turn around after you've spent all of this time supposedly trying to get to the point where you can make a cure, and then you turn around and you are the one that ruins it all, because Joel decides that he can't let them kill Ellie. And then it makes you look back on everything you've done to get there in a way, and all of the people that you've definitely killed.
That's time.
You have one final thing you can say.
Oh, well, I'll go ahead. I mean, yeah, I think just like to kind of wrap it up, I think that it's really it's interesting how we're moving from an era of like violence in video games is normal and kind of discounted or not seen as it is, and now we're moving towards an era of like, okay, well, your actions will have consequences, and we should reflect that in the media that we consume. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have one more duo. If the two of you could go up here.
I forgot where I was going, but I was there.
And Evan, if you could give the time limit warning.
So this is a good chair. Alrighty, 5 minutes at 7:32 is time. It's going to be first warning, and you have last minute. Alrighty.
All right. Hi, this is Anna Roome, and I'm with,
Katie Strand.
and we're going to have a discussion about something.
Something interesting. We'll make it fun.
But I do want to start out just quickly about the governor's voucher. Governor Abbott wants people to accept vouchers that pay education privately, private education, which will take away from our public education. And there's been this theory for a while that they're literally trying to turn our public education over to private individuals, which I see as really bad.
Well, and there's a lot that can go wrong with that. I mean, we see private companies, I mean, you can do whatever you want, you can teach whatever you want, and I know, especially in Texas, that's been a really big issue, especially regarding Texas history, and especially being a state in the South, like dealing with how do you teach about our history with slavery and all of those issues. And so I can see how making it private, and then you can teach whatever you want, you can preach whatever you want, and you can change how history is understood, especially for young kids who are very impressionable. And I can,
Well, I worry about, like I teach at Skyline, we have 28 magnet programs, and they're all fantastic. We're going to lose those because that takes a lot of funding,
Mhm.
and he has refused to fund the teachers since 2019. We have not received any funds, and I do know that our superintendent right now has filed suit against the Texas Education Agency
Good, yeah.
because it's just gotten out of hand. But he is trying to pass this voucher through all kinds of different strategies, and they have never passed, and he's going for it again.
Oh my gosh.
And-
Is there anything that the public could do to try to counter this, or is there any actions, or
We're fighting it right
we're
now.
fighting it? Okay,
But
that's good.
it's just, enough is enough.
Yeah.
Let's move on. And I really, this is the first governor in years, regardless of Democrat, Republican, that I do not like. And I'm gonna say that. And so, but let's move on.
Well, so something kind of speaking on education, something that I really wanted to talk about is just what to do with your education. What does one do once you've been educated? And I know you've had several degrees, and so you're kind of going
Yeah.
through the same process that I'm currently grappling with. Have a mechanical engineering degree, getting my art history degree, have no idea what I'm going to do next because I haven't found something yet.
Yeah.
And so for you, how did you figure out what you want to do next? Like, what was that kind of pulling force, and how have you really seen yourself evolve through your various educations?
Well, I have a business degree originally,
Mhm.
and I did work in business. I worked for a brokerage firm, and then Jim Jarmusch, which is a very artsy film director, came to Memphis, and I had taken some film classes, and this is, my mom said, get an art major, but I didn't listen to her. But then I realized, wait a minute, I love art.
Yeah.
And so I went down there, I took some menus, and I knew all the places in Memphis, even the places where you went and knocked on the back door to eat, that people didn't know about. So I took them all these menus and made it so, they were like, oh, cool, because some of those New York people, they got to have weird, things. And Jim had to have his orange pico tea and his, salmon bagel every afternoon.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I applied for the production assistant job in the office, and I didn't get it. But then 2 days later, they said, you know what, we want you. And so
Oh, that's awesome.
I was skipping down the hall going, see you later, I'm out of here. And it was such a blast. I went out with, of the Clash, Joe Strummer, and we went dancing on Beale Street, and that was another thing. There was always a back bar you had to know about. And he showed me all the parts of the guitar one night, and we just had a blast. But
Well,
that kind of started me off, and then it went into
Yeah.
advertising.
Okay, which
And-
is art related.
Yeah. Oh no, I loved. I worked for the Richards Group, Tracy Locke, and a bunch of other ones.
Oh,
and
that's exciting.
yeah, it was. And then I had kids and decided to teach. What was I thinking? Anyway,
Oh.
so that's how that went. But
It's good to, I think, especially once you kind of have that gut feeling. It sounds like you initially just knew right away, like, art
Yeah.
is for me, and even it sounds like your parents knew that too. They saw
Yeah.
it in you, so
now I just want to be an artist, though,
I know,
and
yeah.
just make art. And
that's the dream.
yeah, it's gonna happen. Anyway,
And time. Well, that was wonderful.
And now Evan and I are gonna do a final one,
All right.
all right, thanks.
Get out of the hot seat.
and then he'll edit it, and he won't publish it without your permission.
I'll chop it up and make sure all the
Sound effects.
No,
Yeah,
but
that's
you know,
you gotta
Colin
go.
got a little bit nervous about his final sentence. That computer games are evil or something, I forget what you said.
They're drugs, Roger.
They're drugs.
drugs.
Say it loud and proud.
But really, really adults in
Mhm.
Eastern Asia
Yeah.
countries.
Okay, so I think this comparative analysis is going to be one of your strengths, comparing your experience in an American educational setting and in a Chinese one. And okay.
Our last guest tonight is the director of the Art Sci Lab, one Roger Malina. No introduction outside of that. Hello.
Yeah, hello. So one thing that was on my mind, you and I went shopping recently.
We did.
What did we go shopping for?
Plants, not just any ordinary plants, though.
Keep going.
Native plants, specifically in the region of Tejas, Texas.
So we bought several native plants, which are now in this room. And I got a 10-minute education from the shopkeeper
You did.
that plants do not respect the borders of states.
No.
So asking for Texas native plants is a stupid question.
Because they have ranges.
And so they have ranges depending on the weather and the climate. And so we bought one native plant that originally grew in Louisiana,
Oklahoma. That's the north of here.
Anyway, so, but you know, this was such a silly aha moment that people need permission to cross borders, but plants don't. Okay, so what else should we?
Well, what do you think? What's on your mind? What's on your mind right now? You were talking about plants. I was thinking about the cat that was at the native plant
Okay,
place.
so I have one which is much more philosophical, which is one I'm facing at the moment. How would you define a productive life today?
A life.
Productive life.
A productive life. Here's my 1 minute philosophy on production, is that there was never a dull moment. Every day you didn't finish the workday and believe that it became monotonous, that it almost became repetitive. A productive life is one that every single day there was a story. You walked away today and said, I learned how to do a podcast. I learned how to talk to a bunch of different people. Some days it's, I know a bit more about politics, about native animals, about video games, about worlds I've never even explored.
Okay. Well, I turned 73 years old this year, and suddenly I was doing something and I said, I feel like a teenager. I remember being 18 and 19, what am I going to do in my life? Well, that's what I'm thinking about now. So I never thought of regressing to being a teenager as being a good thing. I go to night spots and stay up until 3 in the morning.
I'm not your parents. Why are you shunning away? We're adults, Roger.
So, in some religions, there's life after death, and life is cyclical. And so I suddenly said, I'm living a cyclical life where I became old and then a teenager, and then I'm going to make different decisions of what to do in the next 10 years or 20 years.
And then soon you'll end up in diapers again.
No! Not tomorrow, though. Tomorrow.
Okay.
No.
So, but it is funny how I resonate with some of the questions that other people in this room. So yeah, I'm supposed to be a professor. I know what I'm doing.
Maybe that'd be a fun little side project.
Well, no, but I was just in a faculty meeting here, and the state of Texas is threatening to abolish tenure in the universities, and so you'd have to apply every 3 years for a 3-year contract. And then, one of the things in the state legislature is your contract will not be renewed if you exhibit moral turpitude. And we roll into
legal
meeting,
jargon.
What is moral turpitude? Well, there's no legal definition, because in different cultures, morality is not quite identical. In the Mormons, you can have several wives. In certain, well, no, I mean.
That's the first thing your mind wanders to. Damn, I should have another wife. I'm getting bored of this one.
I think we better edit this out.
I'm not editing this out. This is good. This keeps retention. People are like, man, why did he talk about the Mormons again?
No,
You gotta introduce.
I've been to Utah, but only to ski.
Not for the wives?
No, but
it's a selling point.
Typical.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Evan.
You see, I mean, fun. The podcast should be fun. A podcast should be something where we're laughing through the
Well,
entire thing.
Personally, I
Unless
think
it's criminal
as you get
minds.
older, you
Uh-oh.
know,
I killed her.
No, but,
Oh.
you know, this question you're asking yourself, I'm asking myself. What should I do next? And I've done this, I've done that, and
you need to marry someone rich.
Oh,
But it's
gold
kind of
digging.
exciting not knowing what is next, and I think that is what is productive. Just not knowing.
Okay, good. So, thank you.